Every interaction is a power struggle. Doesn't matter if it's business, friendship, or love, someone always ends up with the upper hand. The brutal truth, if it isn't you, it's them. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He lived in a world where survival depended on knowing how to bend people without them realizing it. He watched rulers rise and fall, leaders gain power and lose it. And he documented one truth: every interaction has leverage, and the man who knows how to use it wins. Most people walk through life blind to this. They think conversations are equal. They think relationships are fair. They think negotiations are about compromise. But here's the reality. While they're playing fair, someone else is pulling strings. And by the time they notice, it's already too late. By the end of this video, you'll have 12 psychological tricks straight from Machiavelli's playbook. These aren't abstract ideas. They're strategies you can use the second you walk into a room. And the beauty of it? People won't even realize what you're doing. They'll just feel it. The weight of your presence, the gravity of your words, the shift of power leaning toward you. Machiavelli once wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does at last." That's exactly what you're about to do. Move first, move smarter, and make every interaction yours. Most men walk into interactions already defeated. They don't even realize it, but they give away power before the first word leaves their mouth. You felt it. In meetings, you watch someone else dominate the room while you sit back, waiting for your turn. Only it never comes. With friends, you notice you're always the one adjusting, always the one compromising, always the one carrying the weight. In relationships, you find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, just to keep the peace. And every time it happens, you walk away with the same bitter thought. Why do I always end up on the losing side? Here's the cruel truth. The world doesn't reward fairness. It rewards leverage. And when you don't understand leverage, you get played. Machiavelli saw this pattern clearly. He watched leaders destroyed not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked control in their interactions. They trusted too easily, spoke too freely, gave too much, and by the time they realized they'd lost the upper hand, their fate was sealed. And it's not just rulers, it's you, me, everyone. Every day we bleed respect, energy, and influence in the small interactions. Little by little, the balance tips, and once it tips, it's hard to bring it back. Because people remember. They remember who folds first, who compromises most, who apologizes fastest, and once they've tagged you as the one who gives ground, that's the role you'll play forever, until you break it. That's why the pain runs so deep. It's not just about losing arguments or letting others win. It's about the erosion of respect. You feel it when people talk over you. You feel it when they take you for granted. You feel it when they don't hesitate to cross your line, because they know you won't stop them. And maybe you've tried to fix it. You've tried being nicer. You've tried working harder, giving more, proving yourself. But none of it worked, because effort without leverage is weakness. Machiavelli's genius was seeing that power in interactions isn't random. It follows laws. And once you know the laws, you can flip the script. Here's the secret Machiavelli understood. People think interactions are about words, but they're really about psychology. Every person walks into a room with invisible levers: fear, pride, desire, insecurity. The man who sees those levers controls the outcome. That's why Machiavelli studied not just rulers, but human nature itself. He knew people aren't random. They're predictable. And once you know the patterns, you don't need to fight for the upper hand. You already have it. Let's break into the first 3 psychological tricks that shift control instantly. Trick 1. The power of silence. Most men lose power by talking too much. They reveal their thoughts, their fears, their position, while the other side just listens and calculates. Machiavelli knew silence was a weapon. Stay quiet longer than the other person is comfortable. They'll start filling the gap, and in those rushed words, they reveal their weakness. Control comes not from what you say, but from what you don't say. Trick 2. Frame the interaction. He who frames, wins. If you walk into a negotiation saying, "I hope this works out," you've already surrendered. Machiavelli would start by setting the frame. Here's what I'm willing to consider. Whoever defines the context defines the rules. Don't enter someone else's frame. Force them into yours. Trick 3. Use scarcity. Machiavelli observed that what is common is cheap, and what is rare is valued. If you're always available, always saying yes, people stop respecting your time. But when you pull back, when your presence is limited, people lean in. Scarcity forces respect because it signals value. Make your time, energy, and approval rare. They'll treat it like gold. These first 3 tricks may seem small, but together they flip the dynamic instantly. Silence makes them reveal. Framing makes them play your game. Scarcity makes them value what they once ignored. And suddenly, you're no longer chasing the upper hand, you're holding it. Now that you've got the first 3 tools, silence, framing, and scarcity, let's go deeper into Machiavelli's arsenal. These next 6 tricks are sharper, darker, and even more powerful. Use them right, and you'll never walk into an interaction blind again. Trick 4. Control the tempo. Machiavelli knew timing was everything. Speak slower than the other person. Move at your pace, not theirs. When they rush, you pause. When they stall, you accelerate. Whoever sets the tempo dictates the emotional rhythm, and the upper hand always belongs to the one who controls the clock. Trick 5. Ask the question that cuts. Instead of defending yourself, ask the question that forces them to reveal their weakness. Example: someone pressures you into agreeing. Respond with, "Why does this matter so much to you?" That one line flips the spotlight. Suddenly they're explaining, not you. Trick 6. Mirror their energy, then shift. Machiavelli understood that people trust similarity. Start by mirroring tone, pace, and posture. It lowers defenses. Then, once they're synced with you, shift the energy where you want it to go. This is how you guide without force. Trick 7. The strategic pause. Silence works, but the pause is its cousin. Drop a pause right after they reveal something important. Hold eye contact. Let the silence burn. They'll either reveal more or backpedal. Either way, you control the pressure. Trick 8. Redirect the spotlight. When someone challenges you publicly, don't argue. Redirect. Example: they mock your idea in a meeting. Instead of defending, turn. Interesting. What solution do you propose? Now the pressure is on them. Machiavelli loved this move because it made enemies expose their own incompetence. Trick 9. The scar of memory. People respect those who deliver consequences. You don't need to explode, but you need to mark the line. If someone disrespects you, quietly pull back your time, your access, your trust. Do it once, and they'll remember. They'll never cross you the same way again. This is psychological warfare, and most people aren't ready for it. But we're not done yet. I'm going to give you the final 3 tricks. Machiavelli's deadliest strategies for gaining the upper hand anywhere, anytime. You've got 9 weapons already. Silence, framing, scarcity, tempo, mirroring, redirecting, consequences. They've armed you to dominate almost any situation. But Machiavelli's sharpest lessons are in the final 3. These are the deadliest tricks. Used well, they don't just give you the upper hand. They make you untouchable. Trick 10. Give the illusion of choice. Machiavelli loved this move. He wrote, "The best fortress is to be found in the love of the people." But he also knew, people want to feel free, so give them options, both leading to your outcome. Example: we can either close this deal today or tomorrow morning. What's best for you? They feel control, but the path is yours. Trick 11. Expose by overloading. When you want to test someone, don't confront. Overload them with small pressures. Watch where they crack. The insecure man shows it in his tone. The liar shows it in his story. The weak show it in their eyes. Machiavelli studied rulers this way. Stress reveals truth. Trick 12. Keep the last word by action. Words fade. Actions echo. Machiavelli warned that promises mean nothing. Only results matter. So never argue endlessly. Let your action close the conversation. End End a toxic friendship by disappearing. End disrespect at work by cutting access. End manipulation by walking away. The last word is not spoken. It's done. These three together, they seal the Machiavellian playbook. You don't just react. You dictate. You don't just win. You design the win. This is where everything comes together. You're no longer the man who walks into interactions blind, hoping to be treated fairly. You're the man with the arsenal. 12 psychological weapons from Machiavelli himself. 12 moves that tilt every scale in your favor. Machiavelli taught that respect doesn't come from love or kindness alone. It comes from leverage. When people sense you can't be moved easily, when they feel the weight of your presence, they instinctively adjust to you. They hesitate before crossing you. They treat your time, your words, your approval like something valuable because you've made it valuable. This is what it means to always have the upper hand, not by shouting, not by brute force, but by being the man everyone else has to measure themselves against. When these tactics become your nature, you don't think about them anymore. You walk into a room and people already feel it. The calm, the control, the gravitas. You're not chasing respect. You're radiating it. You're not fighting for control. You are control. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop fighting to be respected and start living like the man who demands it silently, you'll see the shift. People who once overlooked you will step carefully. Those who once tried to use you will hesitate. And those who respect power will recognize you as one of their own. And as Machiavelli himself would say, the wise man does at once what the fool does at last. Be the wise man. Take the upper hand every time.